that transition from like 0 kids to gradually having 3? Like, what did your workouts, how did they change over time?
I used to get so frustrated because I just wanted my time. I just wanted to have uninterrupted time for a workout, and it never failed. You get the baby down to sleep, you go take your baby monitor out to the garage or the driveway, whatever, and then they'd wake up. And I eventually learned to I actually, it made me less frustrated when I just worked out with my kids around. And so it was just from the get go, knowing there's going to be breaks, there's going to be intermissions, it's going to get broken up. And so I didn't have like this expectation of like, all right, this is me time. And then it get disrupted. And then I have I pitch my fit and I have my frustration. And so that's the rhythm I eventually adopted when my kids were little. Is I just would get up, depending on whatever day it was, and go ahead and get them fed and, happy and situated. And then I would bring them outside with me, bring them to the garage with me. And I'm like, okay, I'm working out with you here. And so that way I could just, get my sets in, they're involved, I can handle things right there. And it was just a less frustrating process all the way around. When they were little, that's what I always felt worked for me. And then when it was like their nap time or their quiet time, then I shut myself down too. Like, no, I want to rest and have my nap time, my quiet time as well.
Yeah.
And so then, I wasn't counting on that time to get my workout in. So then I didn't miss my workout time if I'm just like, I work out with the kids and that's what we do.
Mhm. And I think that I did not have that preparation mentally, and I didn't even know what to expect. I think when I had Calvin, I almost was trying. I know I was going through some postpartum depression, anxiety, all those things. But I did get to the point where I was like, I want my time and I deserve to get away and I deserve to have this time away. And like, but with a newborn, we understand the hormonal ebbs and flows and the emotions. And then also, so I was trying to, this is the funny part, and like laughing back, like I look back and I'm like, this is ridiculous, but I signed myself up. I was like bound and determined I was going to go to a gym. Like, okay, so I signed myself up for this CrossFit. Stephanie, keep in mind, I've never done CrossFit in my life. And I'm going to start 10 months postpartum. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go through these 3 intro CrossFit workout, like introduction, how to move your body, all that, which, whatever. And then I'm going to come like 2 to 3 times a week because that's doable, right? Like, no, like I thought by that point in my brain, I thought at 10 months, why would I not like be able to handle that? And so again, even as a pelvic therapist, like if you just haven't gone through that experience as postpartum and motherhood and trying to figure out and get your feet back underneath you and reinventing your schedule and your whole life, like you just don't get it till you get it. And that's when I realized I was like, I really hit the wall. And of course, I was like, kind of went, had a lot of like frustration about it. But then I figured it out. I wish that I had more. I wish we would have known each other back then. And I could be like, so what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay.
Yes.
Because I think that's where women need the community. Because even though you may not be in the same room as somebody, you can look at somebody across, and at least on social media now, it's more prevalent. But it's like you see women working out with junk behind them, kids everywhere, in a garage, outside, you're just moving. And that was one of the things that I think we have just got to get people aware of. It is not going to be like it was before you had kids, but also grabbing the 10 minutes when you can and being okay with that. And then, like you said, follow their rhythm, follow their energies, and close your eyes. And I have this mental thing that I do now, even if I close my eyes, I go, I'm not expecting an hour nap. I am going to close my eyes. I don't say the words, I'm going to take a nap, because never fails. Like I'm going to be woken up in 10 minutes. So if I can go, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to have a brain body reset. And when they walk in the door in 20 minutes and they're asking for a snack, like I'm not upset about it. And I think the same thing goes for the workouts too, I think is what we both figured out. And I feel like us saying that to people, it's like, freedom. It's like, oh, okay, like I'm not the only one. Like, yeah, it would be nice to be able to go to the gym as soon as you have a baby and you have your little rhythm back. And maybe some people can and their husband's home and, they can help with that. Cool. But I do think that, like, as our kids get older and now you have a regimen that you are going to the gym in the morning, you get up very early in the morning and you have a set schedule, but your youngest kid is how old now?
6.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like now it's a very different dynamic than it was when they were breastfeeding. I mean, it just is. And so I think seasonally, we can't compare our first year to a mom's sixth year. So that's also something that I think that women just don't realize. And you're in a busy, Birmingham area, whereas I'm in a rural area and I don't even have a gym that has the option for a nursery or childcare, period, even if I wanted to go find something. So it feels very isolating. And I think I'm glad that you could kind of even say, even in Birmingham, even in big cities, you still have to reinvent yourself and figure out a way to move your body.
Oh yeah. I mean, and like, I remember, how could I ever commit to a class time? Like my life is so chaotic with the kids, and you never know who's going to get you up in the middle of the night. Like I can't even guarantee I'm going to be able to make it to that 5 a.m. class, because am I going to be getting up middle of the night to feed a baby, or a baby got sick? And so, it's so much easier said than done. And once you've gone through it, you can really look back with the wisdom that you would hear, like everything's a season and it's just like that in this season. And it's
It's
so
so
true
annoying to hear
though.
people say that, though. In the moment, you're like, shut up. I know, okay, you're going to miss this, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
Like, that's not helpful either. But I do, yeah, like now we can look back because my youngest is 4. And even now, like they're in the living room, I can talk to you and he might interrupt me. But he's pretty good with his siblings. But like, yeah, like there's different seasonalities with that. And I think that, yeah, you just can't compare. And even the location matters. So get what you can and like have a mentality shift on movement because we know, even from exercise research and all of that, that even if you get 3 chunks of 10 minutes or you do 30 minutes altogether, it still counts the same. Like you're not, and it may not be ideal because it's annoying to start and stop, but at the same time, you're still getting it in. And that could actually be a good stress reliever and a mental relief for you during your day, especially with kids like that. So,
totally. Yeah, one of my biggest pieces of advice for moms is to start collecting a little bit of equipment. Get you a few sets of
mhm.
dumbbells, whatever you can get at the house. Get on Facebook Marketplace, because it'll help you be successful through your different phases of life if you can just do a little bit at home.
Mhm, mhm. And I think along the lines of that is when you find that rhythm and then now you're pulled out into travel or you're going, your life stages, change and maybe you're not traveling to a vacation, but if you're like you and I are and we're living in a ballpark for a season, like how we can get creative with the movements and be the weird one on the sidelines doing lunges and doing squats around the bleachers or walking around the park. Um, you just have to capitalize where you can.